I will never forget the moment I met my soulmate, Aaliyah. Today, she is thankfully my wife and the mother of my child. But there was a time in my life where I wasn't even sure if I would ever find my soulmate. It's not like I never tried, and believe me, I tried. I always wanted to find love and to be in love, but nothing I was doing ever seemed to work. That is, until I experienced a profound spiritual awakening a few years ago, which helped me re-examine how I thought about love, relationships, and soulmates. Up until that point, I thought spirituality was separate from love. In fact, there was even a period where I thought that love actually distracted us from growing spiritually. I know it's a crazy thought. But I eventually learned that true love can actually help us grow spiritually. And vice versa, being spiritual can help us find true love. So thank you for taking some time out of your busy day to tune into this video on finding your soulmate. We will be discussing how to find your soulmate through spiritual guidance. And although I can't promise any results, I do believe you'll benefit from it in some way. We'll start by exploring the concept of soulmates before diving into some of the specific steps and practices you can do today to find your soulmate. Finding your soulmate is not just about having someone who complements you in every way. That is a part of it, but it's also about finding someone who resonates with you on a deeper and more spiritual level. Someone who shares your values, beliefs, and passions. Someone who helps you grow as a person. Someone you can envision melting with to form a bond or a union that is greater than either of you alone. But in order to do that, you must first understand what a soulmate really is. A soulmate is someone who feels like home to you, someone you have an instant connection with, and someone who you feel a deep sense of love and harmony toward. When I first met and got to know my wife, all I could remember feeling was this feeling of being home. Not any sort of physical home, but rather my spiritual home, my home with God. I felt as if our souls were connected before this lifetime, and that our bodies were only beginning to meet now. Rather than the usual anxiety or nervousness that I would feel before whenever I was talking to girls, I only felt a sense of peace and calm when talking with Aaliyah. It just clicked without me ever having to try. And that's a big clue right there. Contrary to popular belief, your soulmate is not necessarily someone who is perfect or without flaws. Instead, they are someone who helps you grow as a person, who helps you evolve as a person. They understand you, support you, and love you unconditionally, just like God loves you unconditionally. Oftentimes we might say we love someone, but if they do not love us back, or they do something to hurt us, then all of a sudden, our love for them suddenly dies. This is not true love. True love is unconditional and selfless. It is the love between two souls rather than two human beings. And this is something that unfortunately not a lot of us fully understand. Soulmate relationships are not just about romantic love, but also about spiritual growth and evolution. It's funny, I remember when I met my wife, so many things just naturally happened to me spiritually. I took coaching classes to better understand myself and grow as a person. I began to get more interested into poetry and all of a sudden started to write a lot of poems that I hadn't thought of before. And I started going down the path of creating these YouTube videos, which have been nothing but food for my soul. Everything just naturally fell into place, with hardly any effort, any resistance, or any struggle at all. And this is something I also learned about finding soulmates. We experience pain in relationships because we desperately want to seek love, not knowing that we first need to become love before we receive love. We first need to realize that we are love. If you just look at the word soulmate, for example, you'll see that it refers to a mate for your soul. But ask yourself, have you even found your soul yet? So many of us cannot truthfully answer this question. And believe me, I was certainly once one of them. I chased wild ideas of love in my youth without ever spending time to realize that my true essence is love. I didn't know that no person can diminish the love we already have or the love we already are. But I did eventually learn that a soulmate can help us realize and manifest this love. Not the selfish, clingy, possessive love, but rather the pure, selfless, and unconditional love. When you find your soulmate, you will just know it in your core. It's like that old cliche. You will develop an instant connection with them. You will feel like you've known them forever, even if you have just met. You will have a deep sense of comfort and safety whenever you are with them. And perhaps most importantly, you will feel like you can just be your true self around them, because they accept you for who you really are. There is this feeling of completion and wholeness when you are around them, because they are looking past your physical features and personality to see your beautiful soul, the soul that unfortunately not a lot of people can see. Now, it's good to know these signs for whenever you do come across your soulmate. But how do we attract our soulmate in the first place? Yes, you might be tempted to just go out there and open a bunch of dating apps and talk to a few of your friends for some suggestions. But it all actually starts by focusing on yourself. And this is an important point. You can only attract your soulmate by becoming the best version of yourself. Why is this necessary, you might be thinking? Because until you can become the best version of yourself, you will never discover your soul. And if you never discover your soul, then you will never know which other soul will be the perfect mate for it. You know, I can't stress this point enough, but it's really about finding yourself before you can find your person. You need to first focus on your own personal growth and self-improvement. You need to work on your emotional, mental, and especially spiritual well-being. And you need to develop a deep sense of self-love and self-acceptance. Because if you can't love yourself, no one else can. When you are aligned with your true self, you will naturally attract your soulmate without ever having to try. Now, there are a few simple practices and exercises you can do to work on yourself, and we'll go over a few of them on this video. The first and most important is to discover who you are and what you want. Now, this is obviously a lifelong journey, but you can make real progress if you just take some time to travel inward and get to know who you really are. Set some time each day to explore your inner self, your passions, and your purpose in life. This can be done in a variety of ways, either through meditation, journaling, or even just a moment of silent reflection and contemplation. When you are clear, and I mean clear, about who you are and what you want, you will attract someone who resonates with you on a deeper level. The next practice is to focus on your energy. The energy you put out into the world will attract similar energy. We've all heard of the law of attraction before. If you are negative and closed off, you will attract negative and closed off people. However, if you are positive and open, you will attract positive and open people. Again, meditation, yoga, and journaling are great practices to help you clear your energy and to create space for that positive energy to naturally surface. Another way to cultivate positive energy is to practice gratitude by focusing on what you already have and what you are grateful for in your life. This helps you shift your energy from a place of lack to a place of abundance and attracts more positive energy and love into your life. Now, I know some of you might be afraid, and I definitely was afraid, of being open and vulnerable because of past relationships or failures, but the third step on this path of self-improvement is to let go of your past. Holding on to your past will only prevent you from moving forward and actually finding your soulmate. So take the time to heal from past wounds. Forgive yourself and forgive others, and just simply move on. This will open up the space in your life for the right person to come at the right time. Closely related to this is the practice of being open and receptive to love. It sounds like an obvious thing, but it's actually a very sad thing that many people miss out on finding their soulmate because they are not even open to receiving love in the first place. They may have their guard up, or they may have a preconceived notion of what their soulmate should look like. But remember, your soulmate may come and actually will come in a different package than you expect. So you have to be open and receptive to all the possibilities. My own journey is a perfect example of that. My wife and I both lived on opposite sides of the state. We never ran into each other before, and I don't think we probably would have ran into each other before. But God had a perfect plan in place for us to meet, connect, and ultimately form a beautiful soulmate relationship. We would literally drive hours to meet somewhere in the middle for a few hours before then turning back, driving back home, and then repeating the same thing the next week. It's definitely not the way I imagined it to be, but I'm so blessed it didn't happen how I imagined it, and that it happened how God imagined it. So be open. And not only be open, but also trust God. Believe me, God has a special plan for you, and everything happens for a reason. If you trust God and have faith in your journey, you will most certainly attract the right person into your life. Finally, be patient. Finding your soulmate is one of the hardest things in life because we have to go through so many different failed relationships, pain, and suffering to finally find the right person who is meant for us. And that's mainly why I wanted to create this video in the first place, to help you all avoid some of that pain and suffering so that you can find your soulmate sooner, so that you can remove the barriers sooner. But even with all this spiritual guidance, you must be patient. There is no shortcut around this. This isn't something that happens overnight. It may take some time, but trust me, it will all happen when the time is right. Now, a lot of us will lose patience because we think that there is nothing to do while we wait for our soulmate to appear. But nothing could be further from the truth. While we wait for God to bring the special person in our life, we can, and we should, focus on ourselves, our energy, and being open to love. If we follow these steps, then we can open the space for our soulmate to enter our life. You're ready for a soulmate relationship when you've done the inner work and have healed from all of your past wounds and traumas. You're ready when you've developed true self-love, self-acceptance, and a sense of wholeness and completion and peace within yourself. And you're ready when you've let go of any limiting beliefs and patterns that have been holding you back from experiencing a fulfilling and deep soulmate relationship. So I hope you found this video helpful as you move closer on your journey to finding and being with your soulmate. Thank you again for tuning in, and please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or comments. You can either drop them below or reach out to me directly. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel for more inspiring and informative videos that can help you grow spiritually. But until next time, I do hope you take care, stay blessed, and above all, be patient. Your soulmate is closer to you than you can ever imagine.